You ready? Hey, everybody. I am Shane. I'm here with Steve Poltz.
How's it going, Shane?
Good. How are you?
Good.
You got any good messages? Some pictures?
Yeah.
So I usually start these off by talking about the history of the artist and the Mucky Duck, and you've been playing here for
72 years.
72.
72 and a half, actually.
Nice.
Tonight's my half-year anniversary.
well, or we're glad to have you back on your half-year anniversary.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I try to come here every half year.
I feel like you haven't been here for 72 years.
I feel like that, too.
I think
72.
I think we both had black hair last time you played.
I think so.
I like
You definitely did.
Yeah, well, I like the Jay Mascis thing you got going.
Thanks, brother.
You like that Dinosaur Jr. reference?
Yeah, totally. I like Jay.
Do you know Jay?
No, but I met him, but I don't know him. Yeah.
So we can talk a little bit about baseball if you want.
Yeah, whatever you want to talk about. I'm up for anything.
The Astros are in the World Series, and your Dodgers got to pull one out tonight and
Well,
tomorrow.
the Dodgers have to win 2 straight if they want to get into the World Series. They got themselves into quite a hole. They did it last year, though, against Atlanta.
They did.
But I think Atlanta's a bit more wily, and the Dodgers are dealing with a lot of injuries right now. You got Justin Turner, who's out of the lineup. You got no more Clayton Kershaw. However, he was never that strong during the playoffs, but he was overdue to be strong in the playoffs. So without Justin Turner and without good old Clayton, it's really 2 big pieces of the puzzle are out of there. And we no longer have Jock Peterson. Jock Peterson ended up defecting to the Braves, and Jock Peterson wears pearls now around his neck and has a mohawk. And then they also lost Kike Hernandez, who went to the Boston Red Sox, and I thought he was going to help the Boston Red Sox get to the series, but the Red Sox failed against your Houston Astros.
They did just that last night, as a matter of fact.
And I would like to say that the Houston Astros have made a remarkable turnaround since they defected to the American League. It's amazing as they moved into one of the toughest neighborhoods and they just brought it up.
Yeah.
They remember when they used to be a National League team?
I remember. Long time. I don't even pay attention to National League anymore.
There they were. What are they? Are they the AL East?
West.
AL West. Yeah, against
Anaheim,
Seattle.
It's not a very strong division. Oakland.
No. It
Texas
was
is
strong
garbage.
a few years back.
Yeah.
What's Texas in?
The AL West.
Oh, okay. Do you love beating them?
I hate the Rangers.
You do, don't you?
Yeah. I like the Cowboys.
You hate the Cowboys?
Oh, I love the Cowboys.
Oh, that's your team?
Yeah.
What about the Houston
I don't know.
Oilers?
Texans.
Texans.
They're terrible. I like them well
Does
enough.
Bum Phillips still
Bum Phillips
coach the Houston Oilers?
From the grave, he does.
Good. I always liked him. I always liked the name Bum.
He was in his hat.
Bum Phillips.
He used to always wear that hat, but he would never wear it in the Astrodome because you weren't supposed to wear hats inside. So he'd never wear that hat in the Astrodome.
You weren't supposed to wear hats in the Astrodome?
I think it's like an old school indoor thing. You're not
I
supposed to
didn't
wear
know
hats
that.
indoors.
Really?
I think it's like a Southern thing.
Oh.
You California weirdos wouldn't know
No.
about that kind of stuff. Hippies. Anyways, I'm going to start asking you these questions now before we go down this track
Okay.
too long. What was the first record that you purchased with your hard-earned own money?
First record I ever purchased was Liza Minnelli.
Liza Minnelli.
Yeah, and the second one was Barbra Streisand. Third was Liberace. Fourth, Wayne Newton. I remember them all, just like it was yesterday.
You're serious?
Oh, man, I love Liza. It's Liza with a Z, not Lisa with an S, because Lisa with an S goes not Z. It's Z instead of Y, Y instead of Z.
That's all new to me. I
So
don't know.
good. And then I bought the soundtrack to Cabaret. And then Jesus Christ Superstar, and then Godspell.
Wow.
That's why I am who I am.
All right. Explains a lot.
Yeah.
That's for sure. What was your first concert? Liza Minnelli?
My first
Doris
concert
Day?
was Neil Diamond.
Oh.
And then Neil Sedaka.
Oh.
Anybody named Neil? Neil Diamond was my first concert, though. Hot August Night. Remember that?
Yeah.
Pack up the late babies and grab the old ladies, and everyone knows, 'cause everyone goes. The brother love shows. Hallelujah. I said, brother, hallelujah. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America. We stand united. Okay.
I kind of thought this was where this was going to go. I was a little nervous about doing this with you.
You don't have to be nervous.
I'm not nervous.
This is our first time, babe. We started off, it was like an awkward date, and I'm making out with you. I'm pushing you into a dumpster behind Denny's after we ate a Grand Slam.
I don't know. Okay. All right. So, I don't even know what to ask you anymore. So we'll go with this.
Okay.
Sharon Osbourne calls. She says, Steve Poltz, I want you to put a band together for the Americana Ozfest.
Sharon Osbourne?
Yeah, she calls you. And
Okay.
being as her husband is a prince of darkness, he can resurrect the dead.
Yeah.
Living or dead, who's in your band?
Abe Lincoln and
Oh.
JFK.
What do they do?
What's that?
What are they going to play?
Spoken word.
Okay.
It's going to be a spoken word tour, and I'm going to play guitar instrumentals.
Okay.
And we're going to meld the Gettysburg Address into Kennedy saying, "We will not tolerate missiles off the coast of Cuba. Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country." And I'll shred lead feedback, lead trench, sort of in the mode of Jay Mascis. It'll be a triple.
Look how you came full circle with the Jay Mascis reference.
Yeah, totally.
I think you're the only person I know that could do that.
And it's not going to be Steve Poltz and the Assassins. It'll be Steve Poltz and the Assassinated.
Are we going to get in trouble for this?
Hopefully.
Are we going to get canceled?
You know, we can only hope. I want to start a clothing line. You know how they have Juicy Couture?
Oh, then yeah.
I want to call it Cancel Couture. And make cancel real sexy, sexy looking.
That's pretty brilliant, actually.
Thank you.
You should do that, Steve.
You know, I also came up with a band name that I think's really cool. Sirhan Job. See, and I could also have him and RFK, Robert F. Kennedy, because he was assassinated by Sirhan, but the name of my band is Sirhan Job. So it'll be RFK, JFK, and Abe Lincoln. This is going to be awesome, dude.
I don't know it's going to be awesome, but I can't. I'm like speechless now. So we'll go on to the next one. It's brilliant, though. It's one of the better bands that's been put together.
If you were to ask me a question, let me pretend I'm you.
No.
Hey, Steve, when you go to Texas, Texas is known for barbecue.
Yeah.
Who do you think makes the best barbecue in Texas? Well, that's a really good question, Shane, and I'm glad you asked it because Lockhart, Texas is known as sort of the mecca for barbecue. And if you think you got the triumvirate, you think you've got Kreitz Market, you've got Black's, and you've got Smitty's. However, 17 miles south is Luling, Texas. You ever heard of Luling? There's a place there called City Market, not to be confused with Luling Barbecue. Mm-hmm. City Market, I asked a Texas cop with a big belly and a big Texas hat on and a bulletproof vest. I went up to him, and you know what I said to him?
What'd you say?
I said, "Defund the police." No, I said, "Excuse me, Mr. Officer, where's the best barbecue do you think? Is it Kreitz Market, or is it Smitty's, or is it Black's?" And he goes, "Young man, let me tell you something. Right here, I would stay in Luling because I was playing Old Settlers, and I would go to Central Market." And I thought, this guy's just pulling the home team thing. No way, man. I ate there today. Those were the best pork ribs I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
The flavor was insane. And so I would say,
How was the brisket?
the brisket was pretty good. I would say the brisket's better at Kreitz Market. But the ribs,
Yeah, that's
were
where it's
fantastic.
at. Okay. Never been. I used to drive through Luling to go to San Marcos when I went to school.
who do you think has the best barbecue in Texas?
Oh,
And do you like barbecue?
I'd like it, but I'm not like a crazy person over it. There's a place called Killen's here in Pearland everybody loves. I've never been.
Have you ever heard of Mexican food?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
What do you think of that?
I like Tex-Mex.
What are you, racist?
I like Tex-Mex.
What, it has to be Tex-Mex?
It does.
You can't go interior Mexico?
No. Where's Nikki? Where's Nikki? She tries to cancel me all the time.
She does?
Yeah.
Well, Tex-Mex isn't going to have really good mole sauce for chicken mole. Pollo con
Well,
mole.
there's a place called Guadalajara here. If you've never
Ese?
been, you should go there.
Pero Tex-Mex es bueno. Me gusta Tex-Mex mucho. Pero es diferente de San Diego, California, o New Mexico.
How's he doing?
Me gusta México mucho. Es mi favorito país en todo el mundo. No, me gusta México mucho. Yo estudié en Guadalajara, en Colegio Anáhuac.
I grew up in Lake Jackson, Steve.
Jackson?
Lake
Oh.
Jackson.
Okay, I do appreciate Tex-Mex. Tex-Mex is ugly. The way it lays out, it's just an ugly, sloppy mess, which I really appreciate the art in the ugly. Whereas if you go to New Mexico, like Santa Fe, you can have some of those hatch green chilies and some of the sauce, and what they're doing, that is insane.
Yeah.
Kind of like if you were to compare the barbecue of Texas and then go out to the Carolina barbecue, which would be vinegar-based, you get a much better pulled pork sandwich than you would in Texas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Speaking of pulled pork, I used to
No,
trick or treat at Liberace's house in Palm Springs, if you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
Liberace was in our neighborhood in Palm Springs, and so we would knock on his door, and he always had the best candy. And he'd
Yeah,
go,
of course
"Hello,
he did."
kids, have a Snickers bar." And his steps up to his house were winding piano keys. It was amazing. This is a great show. We should take this on the road and play in the Cotton Bowl. Does the Cotton Bowl still
The
exist?
Cotton Bowl's still there. It's rat
Everything's
infested.
bigger in Texas.
That's what they say.
Best place to take a shit? Buc-ee's. Always.
The guy that invented Bucky's is from my hometown. I used to go to his crawfish bowls when I was a kid.
I love crawfish.
Slade Jackson's claim to fame.
Cool.
Bucky's.
Cool.
So, yeah, I don't know. I don't ever go in there. It gives me anxiety.
It does.
Everybody's eyes are a little bit too close together.
Do you drink coffee?
I do.
Where do you like to get coffee?
I take it from here.
Snooze? ¿Dónde
Snooze.
está Snooze?
Snooze is a San Diego company, isn't
Cerca
it?
de aquí?
Oh, it's a
Oh,
Denver
I know
company.
Snooze. It's a breakfast place. They have the best eggs Benedict I've ever had anywhere. Par excellence. There's something about the way they do their hash browns in that circle.
They do.
Yeah, it's really good. I enjoy Snooze. My friend works for that company. It's a chain.
She works there.
I'm not as into chains, but I really like Snooze. My friend builds all of them. His name's Daryl McPherson, head of building. I'll introduce you to him.
I worked there, and he used to work there.
Hey, how's it going? Me gusta Snooze también. A mí me gusta. Sí.
So go to Guadalajara tomorrow. They had,
Okay.
they had this coffee. It's Mexican food, and they had this coffee that's got cinnamon in it. It's amazing.
Ooh. What about that coffee house right down the road? Is that good?
I've never been there. They got a brick thrown through their window last week.
They did?
Yeah.
What's up with all the crime?
It's Houston. I don't know. We like crime here.
Wow.
So we're going to get back on topic here, Steve. All right. I don't even know where we are anymore.
I do.
So there was Houston and Mucky Duck.
Yeah.
So was there ever a moment in your life you knew you wanted to do, like a defining moment that you knew you wanted to do what you do?
Yes. It was when I was 7 years old and there was show and tell, and I brought a guitar to elementary school. And Hallie Rothstein brought her dad, who was a chemist.
Yeah.
And Julie Sennhauser brought her mother, who was a nurse.
Is it the Sennhauser?
Yes.
Oh.
And Frankie White brought his uncle who trained snakes, and I brought in my guitar. And prior to that day, I stuttered and had asthma and eczema, and then I played a song called One Tin Soldier that was from the movie Billy Jack. And after I played it, I went back out where I normally sit alone, and there were 6 girls standing around me. And
It was
I
the
remember
women,
I
wasn't it?
went, "This is all I got to do?" That's cool.
It was the girls.
Yeah.
Of course it was. So we'll get into some Halloween stuff. Why not?
Okay, yeah.
Well, do you ever have? Is there a band that scares you? A person, artist? Was there ever somebody that, like Colin Hay in those videos, used to scare the crap out of me as a kid?
Colin Hay?
Men at Work, those those videos with the big wild eyes,
Yeah.
scare me to death.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
I know him.
Yeah, we did a show with him. Super nice man.
Where'd you
but
do the show?
Downtown at the Wortham, big theater.
I just played a show with him at the Caverns
Yeah.
in Pelham, Tennessee. Yeah. I would say the band that scared me the most, Lawrence Welk.
Yeah, he's pretty scary.
Well, he had that accent, and he reminded me of like a Nazi who was hiding in Argentina.
I could totally see that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, is it safe?
So, what was your favorite horror movie?
My favorite war movie is probably The Dirty Dozen.
No, horror.
Oh, horror movie. I thought you said war
It's
movie.
Halloween.
Oh,
Dirty Dozen's
I got to
good,
go
too.
with the original Friday the 13th.
Me too.
That was great.
Well, behind Evil Dead 2, but yeah, that original one.
Yeah.
When that guy jumps out of that boat at the end of it, I never have been that scared in my life.
And The Exorcist really scared
that
me
was
too.
spooky, too.
Because I was raised so Catholic, and that Exorcist stuff scares me.
So what's your favorite Halloween candy? What's your least favorite and favorite Halloween candy?
I would have to say it's always a bonus when there's an apple.
Yeah, really?
No.
No, I was going to say.
No, that was a
the
boner.
caramel covered apple.
That was like
at
a
least.
boner going like this. An apple.
That's what. Yeah, I can see
Yeah.
that.
No, I would say when I was a kid it was a Snickers bar.
Yeah, it's got to be Snickers.
I always like chocolate with nuts.
Of course you do.
Yeah, because I'm nuts.
Well,
I don't like chocolate without. My favorite kind of chocolate bar would be probably 80-20 dark, 80 dark, 20 milk chocolate with almonds and sea salt.
that's very specific. So you shop at Central Market, obviously.
Ooh, I like Central
Well,
Market.
that's where you get those kind of. You don't get
Things.
those at the 7-Eleven.
No.
Yeah. So
I
do
don't
you-
like cheap chocolate.
So do you have any phobias?
I would say I'm scared of. No, I'm
Yes.
scared of being interviewed.
I could tell. You've been terrible.
Yeah.
I wish you would say something.
I
It's
know.
been a struggle to get words come out of you. So to end this interview, we're going to do some either worse. Just because you say one doesn't mean you dislike the other one. You don't have to answer if you don't want to. A lot of people don't for some reason. First one's the universal one, Beatles or Stones.
Beatles. But I was always a Beatles guy, but I've recently gotten really into the Stones. I love the Stones too.
Well, you can love both of them,
Yeah.
but there's always a preference.
I'd say Beats.
Okay. Van Halen or Zeppelin?
Van Halen.
Thank you. Aretha or Dolly?
Dolly.
Dolly. Elvis or Sinatra?
Elvis.
Elvis. Willie or Johnny?
Only because I met Elvis.
Yeah, I know that story. You should
Yeah.
tell that story later.
Yeah,
I love
I
that
will.
story. It makes
Okay.
me laugh every time. Willie or Johnny?
Willie.
Because you're in Texas.
I just love him.
Okay. Take everything out that these people did maybe in their life. Michael Jackson or Prince. Music only.
I would have to go with Prince.
Everybody goes with Prince.
They do?
That's too lopsided. I need to change that one.
No, I like Michael though.
I love Michael.
Yeah.
Lady Gaga or Madonna?
Mad Anna.
Madonna?
Yeah.
There you go. Billie Eilish or Taylor Swift?
Taylor Swift.
Ooh. Soundgarden or Pearl Jam?
Soundgarden.
Good answer. NWA or Beastie Boys?
Beastie Boys.
Metallica or Sabbath?
Metallica.
Good one. I like you.
I like you
we could
too.
be friends. All right, last one.
Can I move in with you?
You can.
Do you have a closet I can live in?
Yes, I do. I have a big closet you can live in.
Okay, cool.
$1,000
Because
a
I've
month.
been living in the closet my whole life till right now. Okay, what was the question?
Did you do? Never mind.
Wait, what
This
was
is
it?
the last one.
Okay.
All right, John Prine or Bob Dylan?
Sean Prine.
Who?
Sean Prine.
Sean Prine?
Yeah, he's
that
a
his
distant
son?
cousin no one knows about that. He kept in a cellar, locked down like the Beast, and he kept a mask on him, and that guy really wrote all the songs for both of them.
Well, that's all I got for you, Steve. Do you have anything else you'd like to say before we end this?
Yeah, I would like to say tonight's going to be the greatest show I've ever played, and I'm so glad that we recorded this, and I hope I don't get canceled for all the things I said, because I did go out on a ledge. I was walking across it, and it felt really good. I thought I had a fear of heights, but after talking to you, I have a fear of all the lows I've done in my life, and I'm glad to be here looking in your eyes to be a part of this union that we've made together as almost one when I feel good with the butterflies that have escaped my soul. What?
Bye-bye, everybody.
This is good weed, man.